Welcome back to the Watching Now podcast from Couch Soup. Don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am.
I don't either.
The Doctor and Ruby Sunday are back for the first 2 episodes of new and improved, maybe? New, but it's definitely new season of Doctor Who. We've got a lot to get through today. Let me introduce you to our panel. Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben. I like Doctor
Ben.
Who.
We have Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I prefer River Song.
Melody Pond. I think you find,
Yes.
I know things too. And we also have Drew.
Mommy? Daddy? Is that you?
No.
Get lost. Get lost. Right
No.
now.
No.
I'm looking for my mommy and daddy. I've been
No.
left on
No,
this.
please don't.
I'm gonna
No.
leave Drew with
No.
you two. I'm leaving. Bye.
And you've got me. I'm Ian. Hi. I'm also a Cyberman, apparently, because I like maths and shit. So let's do our non-spoiler reviews first.
Doctor Who is a mindset, right? Like, you can't go into Doctor Who thinking like this is Star Trek or this is Star Wars or this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me about 30 minutes into like the first episode to remember, oh yeah, I'm watching Doctor Who. Logic doesn't matter, right? Like, it's sort of, there's a moment where you're sort of like, okay, I forgot that Doctor Who could be this way, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of took a turn where there wasn't this kind of stuff, where before, if we remember, like, you know, the Eccleston's era, right? Like, it got pretty damn silly, right? It took me a while to kind of remember, like, be okay with how silly these 2 episodes felt at times. But then once I settled in, you know, like, okay, Doctor Who and Ncuti the guy is just so charismatic. Like, you forgive everything almost. Like, he makes you forgive whatever's happening on like anything else that's happening on screen. So I kind of left being pretty okay with where this new iteration. I'm kind of feeling pretty kind of jazzed about these 2 episodes. I don't know why. Like, I feel like in hindsight, while I was watching them, I was concerned. Like, I was like deeply, like, I was like, I don't know. I have problems. But then when they were both over, something switched in my brain, and I was like, I think I'm okay. I think I like this.
Okay. Let's go to Ben next.
The first episode brought me back to this lovely little episode from the 11th Doctor, where there was a baby and the Cybermen were defeated by the power of love.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably my least favourite episode of the entire show, ever. But when this episode came out, it was like, oh no, babies again. And every time the show brings babies on, the entire show's IQ drops because there's babies. And I don't know what it is, but if you bring a baby into Doctor Who, the show becomes like far more of a kid's show than it should be. This episode was definitely to introduce people to the show in a very safe and harmless way. The second episode was far better because it really started to touch on there are consequences to everything that happens here. I just don't know if this new story direction is Doctor Who.
Anytime that there's babies in it.
Yeah.
I don't hate babies, I swear.
That's not what we're hearing.
Followed by,
Babies.
I don't hate babies,
All right.
I swear.
You need to wear that T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to clarify that you don't hate babies, you probably hate babies. I mean,
Oh, no.
That's kind of a thing, you know.
Well, I'm very much kind of in Drew's camp on this. While I was watching them, I'm like, no, I don't like this. No, this is weird. I wasn't thrilled. By the time I got done with the second one, I was like, okay, I want to see what that's all about. Like, I'm ready for next week because as long as it's got me coming back, it can get a little weird. That's fine.
It pulled me around. The second, I was very concerned that I'd agreed to do this podcast after the first episode. Very concerned. But by the end of the second episode, I'm thinking, oh, I can see some breadcrumbs here. I want to see where this goes. I'm cautious, but cautiously optimistic, I think.
That's kind of where I stand on just about everything when I walk into something. I feel like I've been burned a lot in pop culture that I kind of walk into everything with like a cautious optimism. But yeah. So I totally feel where your head's at, Ian. Yeah, I totally.
Let's go into the spoiler section. If you haven't watched Doctor Who, why are you watching this? Come back after you've watched Doctor Who. But come back, please come back. Don't leave us alone. I'm scared.
Mommy, Daddy.
Drew, stop it.
Sorry.
First episode, which is called Space Babies. It starts off at the Church on Ruby Road, finishes where Ruby goes into the TARDIS, does oh my god it's bigger than the in the inside type stuff, and we get a massive exposition dump straight in there for like, it feels like this is a reboot series to me.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I even seen on IMDb they've classed it as a separate series from 2023 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
Series 1.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like the way it's being even advertised. Like it's almost like everything that happened prior to this is like its thing, and this is like a new. It's almost like we're back to Eccleston. Like everything that like when Eccleston, it was sort of like the old Doctor Who. Now we're doing the new, and now I feel like this is like a new moving forward, which is very interesting. I thought as a branding, it's like, and to your point, Ian, it was a complete info. It was like, here, if you've never seen Doctor Who before, this is the episode to start with, right? Kind of vibe, right? It was interesting.
This is everything you need to know.
Vulture.com is calling it a soft reboot.
I mean, you could call David Tennant going to live with Donna Noble as the hard end of that character then, if this is a brand new Doctor.
Yeah.
Brand new from all up. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yet there's still some references to the past. Like they talk about, I was split in two, and like there's clear references to the old. So it's not like they've forgotten it, like it's like not there, but it's definitely feels.
But Russell T Davies cannot let Gallifrey live. It has to die again, and he has to be the last one again. Because Moffat took that away from him, and he has to put it back.
You mean it's not frozen somewhere that he has to find? It's not
probably.
A thing to find?
Yeah. Then they have that silly on-the-nose butterfly effect
I forgot about
where
that.
they go back to the dinosaurs. She steps on a butterfly and she becomes an alien type race.
I think she becomes a Silurian, actually. The underground lizard people who they find in another episode. Yeah, I think that implied that they became the dominant species, which was a good callback.
Right, because she was speaking in that like very matter of fact like tone, like before that species does.
Like Vastra.
No, it totally makes sense.
Vastra.
Yeah.
It's so on the nose.
Did he does he have the power to like revive a butterfly from being stepped on? I didn't quite understand.
I think he just like breathed regeneration and into it.
Okay. I was hoping for like a little like orange dust or yellow dust to come out or something, like, because it was a little
make it obvious.
I don't think they want to do the orange dust anymore, do they?
After that brief jaunt in the past where they go to a safer place, which is the year, I wrote this down, 21506. She just randomly calls out numbers, and they go to a space station just outside a planet. They crash into it, actually, really, because Doctor still doesn't know how to land that fecking thing anywhere.
So, like, the opening credits ends, with the TARDIS going through the time wormhole or whatever, and it literally comes from opening credit right into the space station, and it phases through the space station and then land. Like, I thought that was like it felt like a one shot. That was really cool. Like, I hadn't seen that. At least I don't think I've seen that before from Doctor Who. I thought that was a really, really well done.
It was good
CGI effect. I thought that was really cool. It was like straight from title sequence. Like, it literally like left the title like the camera like turned from title, and then like it was like a one shot. Like, it didn't transition like the end credits with like black with the directed by or whatever, written by.
Yeah.
And then it usually cuts to boom, and then it goes into like whatever. But this one was just straight into. It was pretty cool.
They crash into the space station. They walk through some dark corridors for a second, and are confronted with a monster. It's lizard-like, big sharp teeth, gunk everywhere. The Doctor's really scared, which is really scary in itself because Doctor doesn't really get scared, although he gets scared quite a lot in this series so far.
It's true.
Yeah, he does.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, that was something I noticed.
Been scared
too.
in every
this
episode.
so
far...
He doesn't get scared, but he runs all the time. Yeah.
This isn't the first time that we've had a Doctor who runs away. The second Doctor did that all the time. So
Really?
Yeah. And even Whittaker's Foster in a few episodes, I feel like, was okay with running. Like, she was like, we gotta run. You know, like, there was a few moments where...
yeah, she was like, come on, fam, zoom.
Yeah.
What did you think immediately when you saw that monster?
It looked like we've got fish down here by the Ohio River that like to hang out by the intakes for the power plants. And they look like that.
Oh, shit.
So I'm just like, God, now they're walking on the ground. No.
Yeah, don't go swimming in the Ohio River, folks.
Yeah,
that's just,
don't do it.
That's the moral of that story. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought it was like visually pretty jarring, like scary-ish. Like, if I was a kid, I think that would be like, oh, that's creepy.
It reminded me of Alien.
Yeah, it was shot in a way too, like the first 15 minutes, like when the going through the corridors felt very Alien 3 vibes. Like, it was really interesting. I thought that was cool.
Glimpses and sharp teeth rather than the full image.
Right, and then also kind of like you're seeing it from like camera, like these like the camera, like overhead camera shots, which was like so you're seeing like corridor hallway camera shots, which is very Alien too in a sense. So I thought that was really neat. Nice touch.
They run and hide, and they find someone else who's on the ship. They find
just you got to rip the Band-Aid off, buddy. Come on, just get to it.
You just got to do it.
They found Eric.
You're dancing.
Eric is a young person.
Young person.
A young person who can't walk. Eric is a baby. He's
a space baby. He's a space baby.
2 years old, maybe 3 years old. Eric is a baby, but talks like a 6-year-old.
Right.
And it's
so weird.
The CGI on those mouths
it's the best you could do.
I think they stole them from the people that did it for the Twilight franchise for that baby, because it's every bit as freaking creepy, and I don't like it.
It's so weird. It's so weird. It weirds me out in more than that feckin' monster. The whole. I know that Ben doesn't like babies, but
no, I don't like these babies in particular.
It's really weird, and then Eric leads them to the rest. So if one wasn't nightmare fuel, the Captain Poppy and the rest of the crew.
Who are babies.
I don't know what to say, guys. Someone take over.
But can't grow, so they're actually incredibly old. But still speak and act like babies.
Old, right?
I just can't. Why didn't they just like make them telepathic or something? Just save the money on the CG, because it was creepy as hell, and it made me want to turn the whole show off. Just make them telepathic. I mean, we've had weirder stuff. Look, the Ood didn't have a mouth you could see.
No,
but the Ood were cool.
Yeah,
the Ood
they could
were
have
cool.
had like a technology that was reading their brains to like translate like a voice box.
Right.
That might have been.
I mean, the Ood were cool, but I'm sure Drew would love to have one of those strollers. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was funny because the moment I was sort of like, oh wow, we went like, because he even made a point to be like, oh, 5 digits, like let's, like we are way in the future, and I'm thinking like they still have like the stroller I have, just like it's robotic, right? Like it looks exactly like the stroller I would buy at a store today. Like I was looking for like more like Baby Yoda space pod kind of like hovering vibe, right? Like that's in my mind what I envisioned these when they first. I was like, why is that baby still in a fucking stroller, right? Like they don't have better things than strollers nowadays, like in the far future. So I was a little like, but again, like this was my logic brain trying to make sense of Doctor Who, and then like it took me a while, right? Like it took me a minute to be like, none of that shit matters what I'm thinking of right now. So silly critique. I redact it.
The fact that they immediately latch onto them as their mommy and daddy, and then they were like, "Yes, we'll
Stop
be
it,
your
Google, say
mommy
the
and
thing
daddy."
again.
Oh God, why?
Mm-hmm.
And I would immediately be like, "This show would be 100 times better if those babies grew giant vampire teeth and bit them while they're hugging them." But unfortunately, that did not happen because the Doctor doesn't have caution of these strange babies who've survived on their own for unknown times.
Ben, did you not hear the space babies? You can't just call babies.
Oh, I'm
He
sorry.
read himself like 4
I'm sorry.
babies
Space
called space babies.
Yeah.
He
That was
says
really
it
annoying.
like 7 times.
Like more than that. Yeah, like
Oh,
he could not say babies without saying
space babies.
Right.
No.
I'm going to defend. Like it was silly, but here's what I'm going to defend it because there were a few moments, and this might be me because I have like a 3-year-old, right? Like a little older than those babies, but mentally getting close to where they're speaking. And there's a moment in the show where they're like, she's like, "Have you ever had a hug?" And she's like, "I've never had a hug." And like, that was like actually like I actually started getting like a little emotional there. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like this is like a little heartbreaking. Like there's like there were some moments here with the space babies that I thought worked really well from an emotional standpoint, right? And then to bring in that like it was an interesting juxtaposition of like this scary monster and these like emotional baby moments. Like it was like it started to work on me. Like I started to like the whiplash, like that Doctor Who whiplash that I really like, which is like there's scary moments, but then there's these really nice emotional moments, and that's what I really like about Doctor Who. So that stuff really started to work for me. I don't know if anybody else felt that, but
I was starting to get like that before they brought in the refugee metaphor.
Yeah.
About the babies, babies
that didn't
and refugees,
work.
that entire link that they tried to do.
I was personally quite happy to see Queen Charlotte in something non-Regency.
Good point.
You said Queen Charlotte before, and I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
So she plays Queen Charlotte in Bridgerton.
Are you talking about the nanny?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nani.
Oh, get you.
Oh, sorry, Nani. My bad. I mispronounced it.
So so that's what happens. We hear what it appears to be an AI voice over the intercom called Nani. It makes all the kids blow the noise because they've got company, and you don't want snotty noses in company. Nani invites the Doctor and Ruby to pod 357. I think it was 357. It turned out that Nani was an actual person called Jocelyn, who used to work in accounts.
Fantastic. Golda Rochevelle, I believe, is her last name. She's beautiful. But I thought she was great in that. And she has a great voice for AI.
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
I mean, there was like one good line from her in the whole episode where she was basically like, "I'm gonna floor this thing out the airlock" or something, and that was like the one part of the show that I thought, "Holy heck, something good is happening!" And then the next part happened.
Yeah. Also, I felt like an alien callback. The monster at the airlock. I thought the running joke with her kind of always like the explicitives, like her being like redacted there, like the AI sort of like what do you call it, like retranslating her cursing into like something that a baby would be okay with hearing.
She got censored in real time.
Censored. Thank you. I thought that was pretty clever. I thought that was a fun I don't know, it gave me a chuckle every time.
After they meet Jocelyn, they try to figure out what the bogeyman is, which is what the space babies called it.
Yeah. That doesn't translate across the pond really well, guys.
Can someone over the
bogies is another word for snot.
I know, but you don't. Do you call it the boogeyman or bogeyman?
We call it the boogeyman.
You call it the boogeyman?
The boogeyman. It's more like boogie.
I don't know.
Like,
I
like
think I've
dancing.
read Terry Pratchett books where it's called the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman. Yeah.
So, like, it's an acceptable way of saying the boogie. The boogeyman is saying the bogeyman is a way of saying it over there, and all across in the UK.
Been. I think we've gradually over time, it's become more Americanized, and loads more people call it the Boogeyman rather than the Bogeyman.
Right.
You got films called the Boogeyman. You haven't really got a film called the Bogeyman.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you.
But I've heard the Bogeyman.
Yeah. So Charlotte, you were with me, and like every time they said bogeyman, I was like, "What the? Why are they saying it like that?" Like,
I have a few British friends, so I kind of knew.
Okay.
But it was really, I had to keep reminding myself that they also said bogeyman instead of boogeyman.
Right.
Like
I assumed too, but I was maybe like waiting for the shoe to drop or something, like they were doing something there, and I don't know. It was interesting.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't translate as well for us in real time because we don't call snot bogeys, we call it boogers.
That's when the shoe dropped. Then I was still sort of like,
See,
I'm not sure that worked out for
unfortunately, our word for buggers is completely bad. In retrospect, from you guys, it means something different. So we couldn't have that.
Spelled differently as well, Ben. But it's not,
right. Yeah.
It's a different word altogether. Let's leave that there. Especially when we're talking about space babies, Ben.
No. I don't.
Oh, no. We use that word here too.
Oh, okay.
They figure out that they want to go after this bogeyman, and on the way, they see that little baby Eric, baby Eric, has already gone to try and face down because Ruby Sunday is such a brave person. Ruby Sunday.
Monsters boogeymen aren't real
on this,
and he's armed with a tiny wooden sword.
Very cute.
He was
very cute.
The Doctor and Ruby go after him, but on the way, the Doctor has some episode about Ruby Sunday, and it starts snowing.
That's very strange.
I thought that
was very strange.
There gets like the finger point of doom at him in his mind, and then it starts snowing. It's just like yo.
Who had the vision though? Was it him or her?
I think
it was him.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
He started crying.
He's crying a lot in this series.
Yeah, he started crying, and he remembered being pointed at by the pointer of doom,
which wasn't in the original, the first episode.
No,
correct?
I think
he even says that didn't happen.
I don't know if it. No, I just don't think he remembers it happening because in Church on Ruby Road, he does see that cloaked figure. It does turn at him, but he didn't see the poke of doom.
Yeah, it's like the event is happening in his mind in real time and continuing every time he thinks about it.
Something happened during those like little seconds that we didn't see on camera that makes him terrified again of going back to that moment.
Yeah, and he keeps bringing up like the coincidence thing keeps happening too.
Yeah,
which seems like we're back here again. We're back here to the girl is the companion is important somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know why we have to continue to come back here with that, but here we are again, which I'm a little like annoyed by. I don't know why.
The bogeyman almost gets Eric, but somehow Eric seems to have survived and hidden before the bogeyman got him, and he can't walk, and he was behind some sort of panel, and he can't use his arms because it's all on pulley strings, and I
honestly
don't quite understand how happened. Fair play to Eric, he's crafty, he's a MacGyver.
I don't understand how it happened. The monster was right there.
You're thinking way too hard about it. I mean,
the monster was right there.
Eric probably has, babies have pretty strong baby strength. That's a thing. My kid could like punch me in the face when he was like 1.5, and it hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, if he really wanted it, was scared enough, I think the adrenaline kicks in. That baby can open it. I'm going with it. I'm saying
I was
he
about
could
to say that,
rip open any door. Like he make a door.
Maybe.
Baby strength.
babies
Scared babies
are pretty strong. My daughter busted my lip once
Yeah,
when she was little.
ain't no thing.
I don't have children, so you guys are the experts. But I
telling you, it's
don't
possible.
think baby Eric could have faced off against the bogeyman.
I think, listen, you're underestimating space baby powers.
I mean, I was kind of thinking that he's got a motorized little scooter. Like, why didn't he just like joust it? Like,
That's true.
Well, we already had a wheelchair with missiles. We could have a baby crib with missiles.
right? Why not?
It tipped over after 5 seconds, though, but for some reason, like Eric shifted.
I mean,
Stupid
I
baby.
bet you that stroller had like a Swiss Army knife or something on it.
Yeah.
I'm pro Eric. He's a brave little dude.
Fuck Eric. Eric can get stuffed.
Oh, now who hates babies, huh? Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow, Ian.
Baby haters on this show.
Alright. The Doctor and Ruby go and figure out what the bogeyman is.
Oh, wait. We missed the best part, where all the babies
What's
line
the
up with
best
flamethroers and flame the monster.
Yes,
That
just
is
like
true.
Alien.
I did forget about the flamethrower babies.
Another Alien reference. I liked it.
Yeah. Don't give babies weapons again.
Right?
I mean,
Babies
I
can
think
buy
you're missing-
flamethrowers at least 2 months old.
you keep missing the important adjective before babies. It's space.
Space babies. Sorry.
These aren't just
Sorry.
regular fucking babies. These are space babies.
You're gonna have.
That's why
you're
he
gonna have
kept
people,
saying it.
Exactly. Right? You're gonna have people picketing outside BBC headquarters, like, you're giving babies weapons. What?
No, we're giving space babies weapons. It's a
Space
different
babies are totally
thing.
different.
They're babies
different.
from space.
Yes, come on, people.
Ruby Sunday gets gunged in good old like kids TV type gunge, slime everywhere, and then they figure out what the bogeyman is. It's a bogey man. It's very literal.
It's made of snot. Yay.
It's made of
It's
snot.
a living sneeze. I
And,
love that. That's what I'm calling my ex-husband from now on.
And Ruby gets gunged and has a freak out, which
She
is
gets
great.
slimed.
I think it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, do you think it's the concept of it?
Yeah.
So it's taking the DNA from the children, thus it's actually one of the children. So that's kind of cool. But it's also kind of going back to the episode where we had David and his wife.
Oh, the doctor's daughter.
Yeah, the Doctor's Daughter episode.
Oh, yeah.
With Peter Davidson's daughter.
Did anybody think? I thought there was a moment where I thought the snot was all going to blow off of it in the airlock, and it was going to just be like a little kid holding on.
Yeah, I was expecting
Yeah, I
it
was
to be a
kind of
baby.
expecting that too.
And then it didn't happen. And I was kind of like, I don't understand why. I don't understand why we can't blow this thing out of the air. Like I still didn't understand why we had to keep it alive.
I'd have given the show a 10 out of 10 if the monster had gone up after the doctor saved it and started ravaging him in the airlock, and they had to reopen it.
Well, to stop it, just getting right. So we did skip a little bit, but like the Doctor gets it to the airlock. Jocelyn / Nanny tries to get it out of the airlock. The Doctor somehow overpowers the power of vacuum. To reach across to hit a button, which again he said about 3 times in the show, which was push that button.
And somehow he gets sucked to the wall that's not where the vacuum is, and the wall sucks him in instead of the vacuum.
Again, it's better not to think too hard about physics, I guess, in this one.
I wish there was like I wish someone would write a scientific thing, like, hey, if you're going to show a vacuum, an airlock on a TV show, this is how airlocks fucking work. Okay, the moment it's depressurized, you start bleeding out of your eyes and your orifices, and you can't breathe and you die. So there's no like blowing wind and like being like, I mean, it's just, it doesn't like, I'm like even for Doctor Who, I was a little like, come on, y'all. Like, that's not how that would go down.
This is the 3rd time he's been in a vacuum trying to hit a switch to close an airlock, by the way.
Yeah.
There was an episode where the sun was going to destroy a ship and he had to stay on the outside of it and hit a lever back in David Tennant days.
Yeah. At least in the TARDIS, there's like a reason. Like it's like the TARDIS protects them from the door being, you know, like you're like, okay, like there's magic there, kind of like space technology magic happening. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of the space vacuum doorway blowout air, constant air thing never made sense to me.
The Snot Monster survives.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's rehabilitated now. It almost died, but it's
it's our friend now. We almost killed
their
it.
friend now. We can't kill it,
Beat it
even
into
though it's an
submission.
abomination.
That's how it works in anime. You beat them up and become your friend.
And to be clear, the explanation, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong here. The explanation was that the machine that was making the babies was said, like, because we have babies, space babies, we have to have a space villain.
Boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
Because the education system went out of whack when
Gotcha.
everyone left.
Right.
So it kept trying to teach the babies, but it had to make more literal sense out of it.
That's
when the actual teachers fecked off.
yeah.
So it made a creation out of their snot, out of their DNA. So in essence, this abomination was an actual baby at the same time.
So what I'm hearing is that in any good society, you have to have something to hate for everyone else to behave.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need it to hit me over the head with like the metaphor it's trying to do, but this one it was a little like I'm a little confused. Like the refugees, are we having an abortion conversation? Like what's going on? Is this or are you just trying to throw a bunch of little things in a blender and hope we pick up on one?
I hope we don't throw them in a blender.
Yeah, I mean ideas, not people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's I was a little. There's a lot of good here, but there was a little. I think for the first episode, if I was coming into this cold, I'd be like, "What is this show?" You know, like I'm not sure what I'm not sure what I'm watching right now. Like I think if I was watching this for the very first time, or with somebody who had never seen any Doctor Who, I'm pretty sure they'd walk away pretty confused about what is going on and what Doctor Who is, right? Like as a show, like and I wouldn't even know what to tell them after that either. Like I'd be like, wait for it. I don't know.
We're getting towards the end of the episode now. They activate the poo thrusters.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
The
Fuck, I
methane.
forgot about that too. Oh my god.
Yeah, they fought their way to
The
the refugee planet.
Poo thrusters activate.
Wow.
They activate the poo thrusters, and then they leave on the TARDIS and work out where they're going to go next. The Doctor tells Ruby she can never go to the church on Ruby Road on her birthday.
It could cause a massive paradox, he says.
Yeah, that could be sucked into and it'd be detrimental. Yeah.
We're going to have a paradox at a church again, just like the Father's Day episode. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like he's not been to see himself about a million times. Unless they significantly change stuff and not just let it play out.
Well, I don't see
his argument.
Well,
it's just
it's
I think
not.
he was scared.
It's about her changing her own history. We had Billie Piper saving her father.
Right. I was just gonna.
So that's.
Yeah,
that
Rose,
would be a reason for her not to go because it could stop her mom.
Right.
From leaving.
This feels a lot like this feels like Eccleston. Like I'm like when I'm watching when I was watching this and with the whole thing with Ruby and then the whole thing with Rose not being able to travel to that time, like I was like, wow, this feels like we are back to that thing. And even some of the tone here in this show, like I'm like, we're back there. Yeah, 100%. I was feeling that vibe.
So we close out with the Doctor not trusting Ruby at all, as far as he can throw her, and doing the DNA tests. And
you are not the father of the space babies.
Could you guys make out any readings? I couldn't. Like it was all pretty.
No,
it was all
it was all
such an advanced machine. It's having some trouble with the DNA test.
Yeah. Yeah, I just see a lot of red. in places, and I'm like, I don't know what any of that doesn't mean anything. It's just graphics. Cool.
I didn't gather anything from that.
Yeah.
We should probably go on to the second episode, The Devil's Chord.
Hey.
We start off in 1925 with a piano lesson for a little kid with a stupid cap on. And he's doing piano, but he's not actually playing anything. He's letting his teacher play everything. So actually, he's probably not having a piano lesson. The teacher's just playing for the kid. And his name's Henry Binger.
Is that important? You're laying it out there like it's important.
The show thinks it's important.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going. Sorry.
Yeah. His name's Henry Binger,
right,
which goes to H. Binger, which goes to Haarmsa. Haarmsa of death and destruction. Right. And the music teacher, for such an apparent genius, doesn't realise that a H. Binger is evil.
He's evil by encouraging him to do music. How dare he?
And then, so he works out the Devil's Chord, which has obviously never been played by anybody in the world before this point in the timeline, and someone turns up. Who turns up?
It's Jinx Monsoon from RuPaul.
Yeah.
And he's hamming it all up beautifully. Or she. There, sorry.
And it's the maestro, as they like to be called. You know those kids in the hall from the theatre group? It felt like that. Like everyone doing fame fingers. Charlotte, I know you're a theatre
I feel
kid,
attacked.
Jazz hands.
Charlotte,
I was one of those kids. No.
No.
Oh, I might. I really loved this.
I loved it though. I mean, but it is camp. This show can be campy. There is no denying.
I had no
Doctor Who
problem
could be campy.
with
So
how
this
campy
was
this one was.
Definitely camp, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, I agree.
To get a drag queen in there as a character is just amazing.
Yeah,
So cool.
I thought that performance was just brilliant. I can't say anything bad about it. They were like the best part of this episode for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun, and fit in with the character. We'll get to who the character is in the grand scheme of things in a bit when they actually reveal it. But in the grand scheme of who that character is and where they fit into the lore, it made perfect sense. That performance, I don't know if, it just made perfect sense. They take the music from the Genius Music Man, then there's a fourth wall break. They look at the camera and go, let's do the shiz. I can't remember what they actually said. I'm going to say let's do the shiz. And then they start playing on the piano, and it's the theme tune to Doctor Who, and that plays for the first 10 seconds of the credits, and that was great. I loved that.
Yeah,
It was nice.
Yeah.
they're really playing with the credits at the moment, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice touch. The toy maker did fourth wall breaks too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, that's relevant. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is this a thing in the show now where like everybody's Deadpool? I don't know.
I don't know because the Doctor fourth wall breaks later on, which I was a little bit weirded out by.
He
Did
does
he? I
in
missed
the
that.
he does in the Christmas episode too.
Yeah,
Really?
It's either the Christmas episode or the Bi-Generation episode.
Like truly fourth wall breaks, or like looks
Yeah.
into the camera
Yeah.
like he's looking at a character.
no,
No,
fourth wall.
fourth wall break.
Just before
I missed
the end number,
Yeah,
he fourth wall breaks.
Of this episode.
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, I have to go back and watch that. I missed that.
Ruby Sunday decides to go and see the Beatles record their first album at Abbey Road Studios, before it was called Abbey Road Studios. They go into the recording session by duping a tea lady, because everyone's called Janet, apparently, in London.
I mean, you know.
And they go in there, and what the fuck is that song?
Terrible.
Terrible.
It's great.
Bad.
I love my dog. Yes, I do. Basically, that's what it said, wasn't it?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great comedy. It's great because they
Yeah,
let the
it's
song
great.
keep going, and like they keep waiting for
Yeah.
because even the Doctor and Ruby are like, "Is this You know, they're waiting.
Is this a gag? What is
Are
happening?
we being duped? What's going on?
Maybe they're
It
just
was-
getting levels. We'll wait. Like,
Yeah.
no, no.
It goes on so long. It's
Yeah.
it's truly funny. It's good. It's good editing. It's good. That's good direction. I like that.
I am not proud to say that for the first 5 to 10 seconds, I thought it might have been a real Beatles song.
Wow.
Like a B-sides.
It had the same sort of vibe, you know. Half
Do
an
they
hour
kick you out
maybe.
if you don't know every Beatles song by heart?
Nah.
Not really.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. And then they go and see Cilla Black. I don't know if you know who Cilla Black is in the States.
I don't.
She is more... I mean, she was a pop star in the 60s, but she was more remembered for people of mine and Ben age of being like a TV show presenter for like Blind Date. She did Blind Date over here.
Okay.
And like Saturday night TV shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
But
that
early in her
actress
career,
didn't
she did
look
music.
anything like her.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, she's supposed to be pretty young. It seemed like it was like
Yeah.
really young in her career.
But still, no.
Yeah, I didn't quite. I just figured she was somebody important, but I didn't. I never took the time to Google or care to Google who she was.
Yeah. Also from Liverpool as well. The Doctor and Ruby talk about how music is well important. Like, it's so important that we need to get the music back. They go up to the roof. They put a piano there, and then before they get to the piano, the Doctor introduces Chekhov's granddaughter. Is his granddaughter, which he's obviously going to use in the later in the series somehow.
He does. He talks about Susan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, she might have just died. I don't know. I don't know what happened to her. She may have just gone.
You can't spend so long saying, "Oh, I don't know where she is," but then not find her later on in the series. It doesn't make sense not to use her if you're going to introduce her when, like, no one. I don't remember who Susan is. But I don't remember that being a thing in Doctor Who lore. So to introduce her in such a big reboot as being important.
Well, I mean, she's introduced in the very first season.
Yeah, she was
as his granddaughter.
She was the first Doctor's granddaughter. As far as I know, she left the series after she stayed with a guy in the 22nd century.
Yeah, it was definitely it felt like a breadcrumb there.
If we think about how Ruby Sunday is supposed to be some sort of weird, we don't know who she is sort of person, could be related.
But if he took her DNA, the TARDIS should pick up a Time Lord immediately, right?
True.
Really nice ballad Ruby plays.
It was very nice. I wish the piano was tuned a little bit better. It was a bit plonky. But yeah, it was nice.
Strong critique, Ian. Were you a music nerd or something that I didn't know about?
No.
You just got a good eye for a well-tuned piano.
The piano is just a bit plonky.
All right.
Maybe old, may need the weights and stuff in it.
I wouldn't have picked that up.
At the end of the song, you hear did a little giggle. Yeah, and then the maestro reappears from the plonky piano, and they run.
Yeah, Doctor's like, nope, can't be dealing with that. We gotta go.
He did a whole no.
Like, nope, I'm out.
You're like, fuck this shit.
Totally. That was some PTSD kicking in.
I never run from anything.
No, you
you
literally
sure?
do
Yeah,
all the
Quite a lot,
time.
mate,
Yeah. It's like a far cry from where we were with like the 11th Doctor when he like literally like shouts like I am like he's basically I'm the one you should be running from. You know, I'm the like this planet's protected. Like vibe. Very confident and it's different. It's a different. I kind of like it. I don't know. It's nice to have a Doctor who seems like there may be something out there better, like more powerful than him. I like that. I like this version. It's kind of nice.
I mean, the maestro is pretty menacing. Not menacing with the way they look and act, but also to a hyper degree, the way that they're looking at it is menacing because they're so overconfident that nothing can touch them. Yeah, I really liked that reintroduction of the Maestro. Ncuti sells the terrifiedness. It makes it even scarier.
I also do love that they get distracted by an old grandma plonking on a piano enough to be like, I must go kill them right now. And they do.
Yeah.
And that woman is actually the same woman who designed Tom Baker's scarf.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, the old woman who
nice.
gets killed in the Maestro episode is the same woman there.
Again, I think this is where the casting comes in really important. Like, I don't know that you... I'm sure that there are men that would be able to do something like that, but to do it with such confidence, I think you need somebody who walks in heels that often, puts on makeup that often, is comfortable in that kind of skin as often as Jinx is, to be able to really sell it. So I was just tickled just watching them just have a ball.
They managed to get away after some sort of cone of silence. They get to the TARDIS and run back to the future. 2024. And it's a wasteland.
Yeah, atomic war, they specifically say.
Mm-hmm.
Without music, the bombs fall.
I like how they appear, like the Maestro just like appears, like the shot at the pool. It was a pretty cool reveal, like pretty creepy because it's like a pulled away shot that you feel like it's like the moment where like it would fade to black, you know, like we're pulling away, like, you know, and then you just see her foot, you know, like on the road. I was like, oh, that's a nice reveal.
It really sells that this is a powerful being, that they catch the Doctor immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then how they are able to like manipulate, like the Toymaker was able to do this too, like manipulate the area around the Doctor, which is very like, it's almost they have the ability to conjure or put you into like a new space or do like the lighting, like the two lights that come down and like the blacking out of everything. I'm not quite sure, like it almost feels too powerful, right? Like it almost like when you're able to do stuff like that, I feel like you're basically a god, and that's kind of how they set the Toymaker up.
Yeah, this whole pantheon, they're all gods, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
that's what they said in the pantheon.
That's why they mentioned the pantheon.
Coming. Yeah. The legions are coming. That's what they said.
And the one who waits at the end of it all.
Yeah, the one who waits. Mm-hmm.
Which means Rory Williams going to come back and kill everyone.
I'm here for it. Yeah. Why do I feel like Ruby's going to be the main villain?
That, I mean, she, the companion that's leaving at the end of this series being the main villain?
You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, that would be playing a very long game.
In the midst of this conversation where they're spotlighted and Maestro's playing the piano, they find out that the Maestro is the spawn of the Toymaker.
But it seems they all subscribe to their own personal rule set. Like, the Maestro can only affect music and sound, and the Toymaker could only affect games.
I don't know.
So they're all sort of limited in a way, but they're still extremely powerful.
I think they're making their own rules as they go along, and they've just taken on this side of the personality. Personally, did the supervillain thing of telling them how to defeat them. So the Devil's Cord brought them into being. So there's a banishment cord. Let's call it Angel Cord for the sake of everything. So it's a Rumpelstiltskin type deal. So the Doctor goes into the studio and starts strumming a guitar like he's going to find it within 5 seconds. And Ruby gets taken with tendrils made out of musical notes.
It was really kind of cool to see just somebody tied up with staffs. That's just a fun way to visualize that.
The Maestro being like, this is the only person with music left in the heart, when I'm just thinking of Peter Capaldi playing that guitar back in the 12th Doctor days. I'm just like, dear, how far we've come.
I mean, it's also bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
We know that it was bullshit. In little conversations that they'd had with Lennon and McCartney, they could see that there was some music in there. It was just buried deep down. Ruby Sunday has been got and tied up in the middle of the air like she's been got by the mind flayer of Stranger Things, but with instead of weird meaty things, she's got score, like musical score coming out of her, and the maestro's really confused because there's a hidden song in the middle of Ruby Sunday, and then it starts snowing again, and this time Carol of the Bells starts singing. It starts playing as well.
Yeah, and the maestro goes, "What the actual heck is going on?" and starts going like full like freak out mode.
It's weird to see such a powerful being scared by Ruby. I don't know if scared is the right word. Intrigued and startled,
disturbed,
maybe. Yeah.
Kind of mad too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that creature is raw.
Welcome back, Drew.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah, sorry, like my browser, like I got a spinning wheel thing.
Then we got a Doctor Strange music battle.
Yeah, I
Multiverse of Madness.
I felt that. I was going to comment on that. That's funny that you mentioned that.
I really wanted Maestro to just start playing The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but unfortunately we didn't get that.
Yeah. I was hoping they would play. Yeah, I was kind of hoping. And don't get me wrong, I know how expensive the rights are to pieces of music and to utilize them, so they have to kind of pick their choices very strategically. But
yeah,
I was kind of hoping they would play like different little snippets of different songs or something like that we recognize and would be able to kind of like bob our head to. But it kind of just felt like random, musical notes.
It wasn't even dueling banjo. Give us dueling banjo.
Yeah, it should have felt. Yeah, it should have felt like a dance battle rap where they can pick up off each other and one up it, right? Like it didn't feel like it. It just felt like they were both playing sounds. Like I was like, okay, I don't know.
Drake versus Kendrick type bombs he should have been doing.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Pop culture.
Pop culture, right here.
Oh no, I'm just like, no, I don't want to get into that. My son was trying to educate me, and I'm just like,
I don't care.
Your mother is 45. She's old and tired. No, I don't care what teenagers are having a pissing contest about.
No one actually got hurt by all the musics that were flying around, but
I would have thought the Maestro would have just won.
Yeah. And miraculously, the Doctor knows most of the angel chord. He whiffs the last note, though. What an idiot.
Yeah, because the Maestro's just like, you need to be a genius to know this, and you're not a genius. And Doctor's like, that, and then loses, and then gets 6 of the chords and fails. And she's like, oh, guess I'm not a genius. Sorry.
Yeah. If I was interpreting what's going on, and let me know if you guys are on the same page, but it felt like the chords are sort of based on emotions that he felt like this is the chord. Like I need to get these 6 or whatever emotions across in these chords, right? Like it's not like necessarily a song, just chord, a rhythm of chords are being hit in a pattern based on an emotional state. Yeah,
the type of chord it is too. So like the Devil's chord is in a minor key. So it sounds dissonant. It sounds down. Right. And the angel chord is in a major key, so it's up. So it gives you an up kind of feeling. So yeah. In my head, I was like, is it as simple as playing the Devil's chord backwards, right? Like, but in a different key. Like, I actually thought about that. Like, it's like, oh, is it as simple as that, right? Like a. I mean, you can you can transpose any key. Take the same kind of arrangement. I'm not clever enough to remember symbols and musically know enough to see if that was the case or if that was a pattern there or something. That didn't. I would need to see it on paper. Right? Yeah, side by side or something. Yeah, but I couldn't remember, and I'm not musically inclined enough to like listen to something and be like, oh, that was
That was C, but C major, and he played it in C minor before. You know, like I'm not. Maybe a genius out there can tell me.
But the genius turns out to be two people in the end.
When Doctor whiffs that last note, it gets laughed in his face, which is just embarrassment. Top embarrassment.
Epic prank maestro.
And then Ruby gets put in a cello. Doctor gets put in some sort of drum, and the piano goes flying into the corridor, and who's there? Just walking by next to a piano. Lennon McCartney turns up and goes, "I know what to do here," and then do the note. And
Lennon's just like, "I just want to go home." Blonk.
I just want to go home.
Get a regular job.
And they play the angel chord. The maestro goes back into went into a piano, didn't they?
Yeah, they get sucked back into music, I think.
And then one last ominous. The one who waits is on his way. It's not going to be long now, kids. I'm paraphrasing, as I always paraphrase.
Yeah.
You can watch the rest to see if he comes on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I know we've been joking around. It's not Rory. Is it?
It's not gonna be
I
Rory.
don't think
It
so.
can't be Rory.
I would fucking love it if it was just like a maniac Rory.
Just like alternate universe Rory, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
been waiting for
The
3
headstone
million
was just a
years.
ruse because he was still part Cyberman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then why does it tie into Ruby, and why does that matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Probably
here,
the cloaked figure as well, something to do with it.
yeah, the coincidences, timing, or whatever, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a fairy tale that Russell T Davies is basing this all on, where it's going to turn out the one who waits is a fairy tale character, and that's going to turn out to be the one who waits. Because they're all sort of fairy tale characters in a way.
Like Bad Wolf.
Yeah, like Bad Wolf.
Could it be like another, like, I don't know, like another doctor out there or something floating?
It could be a lot of things, really. He leaves a lot of people behind.
It's probably not a Time Lord, because the toy maker like snapped his fingers and the master was gone.
Gone. Yeah.
It could even be David Tennant's doctor who waits at Donna's house for too long and goes mad. Because Donna's mum just drives him nuts.
I like that. That's the best one I've heard so far. He's like, I can't stand it anymore.
Like, I'm becoming the Time Lord victorious again. Screw this.
Can't stand their cooking. Their stories are terrible. Good God, get me out of here. I've gone nuts. I love that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm all for like the big mysteries that Doctor Who does, and those are always fun. I liked this episode. I just felt it. To your point, the cleverness to beat her or the maestro was. It just didn't feel clever. It felt more like, haha, I can play music too. Kind of like, and I'm like you came up with those notes. Like they made it a point to be like, you have to be a musical genius. You have to blah blah. And like he was just like, yeah, all right.
And they're just like, the Beatles are next door.
Yeah, like a coincidence that. I always hate it when it feels a little bit like. I like to see the homework. I like to see the cleverness happening. Yeah. Like I like when they show me how you get to, how he got from point A to point B a little bit. So that would be my only major critique, but I thought the performances and the visuals.
Drew, you're acting like the episode's over.
Oh no!
I know.
Yeah, yeah. It was good till now.
And then we Bollywood it, and then they Bollywooded it up.
There's got to be a twist.
No, there doesn't have to be a twist.
Charlotte, what did you think about the twist?
Listen, so I've been to school a few times. My first time through, I was a musical theater major. I love me some musical theater. I don't need it in my Doctor Who. Why are we getting musical numbers? Why is this happening?
Because music is back and everyone's happy music's back and we have to have a big song and dance about it.
Yeah, totally.
I just want to know if Davies went down some sort of musical rabbit hole. while he was
Maybe.
away. And she's like, I like musicals now. I'm going to write them into everything.
It's true.
Yeah.
A lot of music happening in between the last
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes with
Yeah.
Ncuti. Yeah.
Oh, dear. But the little boy is back to re-summon the maestro at any time.
Yeah.
As soon as he finds someone willing to play that chord again.
R. Henry Binger was in the corridor.
Maybe
Which
he's the
is,
one who waits.
Maybe.
Well, there's
He's not
something
doing a great
quite...
job of waiting. He's doing stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, there's something quite interesting about that. There was a character in Torchwood Season 1 in the last episode who was kind of the exact same character. He was an old man who'd basically wait to try and summon Abaddon from the Rift. And he was a sort of harbinger in a way. So it's like... I'm seeing this in the new Who, is that Russell T Davies is taking things from his older works and reincorporating them into this. So it's like that character and like the old man in that and this little boy are kind of exactly the same, because the moment he summons the demon, he's like, my work is done, and vanishes just the same. So it's like, yeah, I feel like if they somehow worked out that those two characters were the same, just in different points of time, it would kind of be really interesting that the Russell T Davies universe could like meld together like that.
Here's the deal. I like musical numbers. I thought that was fun. It should have been an after credits kind of vibe, like almost like a bonus thing. It felt weird, kind of ending because it felt like the episode ended, and then there's a musical number, and then the episode ended again. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now. But I thought it was fun. They all look like they're having a great time, and they all can perform. Like, here's what I like about what's going on with Doctor Who right now. Everyone on the show is a performer. Like, they feel like they're giving it their best, right? I'm even coming around to
Millie Gibson.
Yeah. Millie Gibson, yeah. I'm coming around. I'm starting to really kind of dig it.
I would take episode 2 over most of anything that came out of Chibnall, to be honest. Like, it doesn't need to be well written, it just needs to be well entertaining.
Yeah.
Which is what Doctor Who should be. Not all Doctor Who was ever well written, but it was always entertaining, and that's the core of the show.
All right, then. That's the end of the recap portion of the podcast. Let's go on to our final scores and summary. Let's go with Drew.
I really like both these episodes. I would probably give the second episode is the better of the 2 episodes. But I again, I think I'm glad they went with 2 episodes as a premiere, because I think we needed both of them. I think if you're just coming into Doctor Who, you need episode 1. It's the info dump episode. It's kind of giving you a lot of information on who Doctor Who is and blah, 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 blah. And it's giving you all the stuff that we already know. Like, if you're a big fan, you're kind of like, yep, 2 hearts, got it. Bigger on the inside. Yep, cool, sweet. But I like both of these. I think I'm gonna end up giving episode 1 like a 7, and that's kind of me not really just like not really getting over the space babies, right? Like, it's again, I got emotional and it was cool, like at moments that felt really real and really powerful. But like, there's still some weird logistic things that I kind of can't seem to get over in my head. But I'd like the homage to aliens. There's a lot of homage to aliens and stuff like that, and a lot of homage to, I think, Eccleston era in there. That felt really cool, and because I like that era. So again, I'm not going to like really shit on it. I think it's still a pretty fun opening, new soft reboot, as you said, Charlotte. And then the second episode just really leaned into kind of what Davies does really well, which is kind of set up a big arc. And here we go, right off to the races, right? And I thought it was a lot of fun. I usually like episodes that are more space driven and more fantasy than the grounded sort of, hey, we're on Earth and doing earthly things. But I actually thought this was pretty cool, because I liked the fact that they were having fun with the Beatles and Abbey Road. And I love the outfits. They look awesome. He is so charismatic. The new Doctor is he just owns the screen, man. I don't know what it is. I like watching him. He carries the show 100%. I don't think this show will fail because of him. Davies could write garbage all day long, and maybe Moffat's episode next week will be garbage and he'll save it. I don't know. We'll find out. But he carries the show. So I'm gonna give an 8.5 for the second episode.
First episode, I can't get past the freaking animation on the space baby spaces. I just no. So I'm gonna give that one a 6. Just with Queen Charlotte at a saving grace.
Cool.
Second one, love Jinx. Love that they were a part of this. I thought it was absolutely a blast. And I agree with Drew. Ncuti is really just owning the character. He stepped in and was like, yep, it's me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you got. And I love it. I think it's great. That one I think I probably give about a 9 because it was a really fun episode, even with the musical number.
Okay, well, Space Babies. I keep thinking 4 or 5, so I'm going to give it 4.5. If only for the fact that a lot of the stuff wasn't the worst, but there were some parts that were just really confusing. And for a first episode, I think it really let down giving the tone of the series. I think it was just a bit too babyish, not space babyish, and it really didn't make the show seem all too enticing to anyone above the age of 12. But the second episode was one of the best ones. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performances all around. Like you guys have said, Ncuti is definitely carrying the show. He's probably one of the better doctors that has come out for a long time. So I'm really excited to see where he goes. I would give the episode a 10, but the musical number makes it a 9. Sorry, unsolicited musical can't do it. Sorry.
That's also fair.
So basically, we what we learned today is Ben hates babies, and he
no, I don't hate musicals. I hate ambush musicals.
Ben hates space babies, Drew.
Clarify that. Yeah.
I keep flitting back and forth on the first one on Space Babies. I am overly aware that Space Babies wasn't for it just wasn't for Doctor Who fans. It just wasn't for legacy Doctor Who fans. It's for the new people they're trying to get in from Disney Plus. It has enough in it that makes me think that all right, fine. It's still connected. It's still the same Doctor. But it just doesn't. It didn't feel right to me that one. And yes, a lot of that is because of weird CGI space babies. But after Jodie Whittaker's preachy, serious, political tone, which I'm not saying that there isn't political stuff in these 2 episodes, but the very serious political tone of Jodie Whittaker's, it just feels like someone's gone, let's swing a bit too hard the other way, just for a couple of episodes. And I'm hoping that the next one will be slightly more serious in tone, because I don't know if I can cope with the amount of ridiculousness that there has been so far.
The synopsis for the next episode is the Doctor is stuck on a landmine and can't move, and Ruby Sunday has to help him get off it.
Well, you wanted serious, Ian.
Yeah, it's serious. So Space Babies gets a 5, but it almost doesn't matter what I give it, because my opinion as a legacy Doctor Who fan doesn't really matter for Space Babies. I've just spent the last 2 minutes talking about it, and just pretend that I never said it.
No, yeah. It's gone.
The Devil's Chord was a lot better. I enjoyed a lot of it. I enjoyed Jinx Monsoon's performance, so I'd probably give that a 7.5. It's not at the stage that I want it to be yet, but I want to see how this series sort of plays out and where it goes from here. I feel like we've probably got away from the most ridiculous episodes of the season, and if I'm wrong about that, I'm I'm not going to be that happy.
Can't wait for Ian to be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who's always been ridiculous. That's why my point. It's like
there's
after
levels.
you have to like literally there's like an entire episode where like people are just stuck in traffic.
I forgot about Gridlock.
You know, like I mean, it's just so silly. Or like there's episodes where like the moon is a giant egg, right? Like it's just ridiculous shit, right? So like you have to. I think Whittaker's era, we forgot that Doctor Who is ridiculous. It really is. It's just truly.
Wait, there's an episode in Whittaker where there's a god frog.
That's true.
And the frog's just standing there being like, I am God.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
But there's levels, and it feels like it's being played for the ridiculousness rather than trying to make it serious about the ridiculousness. Like, you have ridiculous shit going on, but everyone's taking it seriously. But in this one is ridiculous shit is going on, and everyone's acting ridiculously.
True. Yeah. There's a bit of... It was the mommy daddy, and then they were like, come here, and I feel you, man. Like it was you're right, it was like someone decided to turn the steering wheel a little bit too we needed an ease in and then have a ridiculous and then ease back in now. I feel you.
I do have a question for you guys for the future episodes that I'd like us to make a bet on. Do we think they will somehow get a Mickey Mouse into the episodes at some point?
A Mickey Mouse? Oh, because of the rights. Because the rights are. No. But here's what I do want: is they did drop Star Trek, and I kind of want the crossover to happen right now. Because she was like, "Is our what did she say? I forget." And she's like, "Oh well," because he actually says, "Oh, we'll visit them later" or something like that.
Yeah, we'll get to them later. He said.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit! If there's a Strange New Worlds Doctor Who crossover coming, I am signing me the fuck up." Even if he just shows up for like a half second, he's like, "Oh, wrong ship," and like they bail.
I don't know if I can cope with that.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
Can we have it in a Doctor Who episode where they like drop him into an episode of like Next Generation and interrupts like a conversation between Picard and Q?
Right.
That would be hilarious.
Or like Q snaps his fingers and like they show up and like, you know, and he's like,
Q's just like,
hey Doctor, hey Q, you know, like they have like a quick banter, like see you later. Yeah.
Q's just like, I'm one of the toy maker's aunties.
Oh, shit. They get John Delancey to play one of the new villains. That would be amazing.
You're hitting my brain.
Yes. Anything to make Ian more salty.
Okay, so that I think that wraps us up, right? We after talking about the Doctor Who Star Trek crossover, that's definitely going to happen.
They're both on. Well, one's Disney, one's Paramount. I don't know.
Yeah,
if Disney buys Paramount, it's on.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah.
They might do it just to get South Park.
That's true.
There we go then. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and listening. And we'll be here every week with this Doctor Who run. Watching now on Couch Soup. Podcast services everywhere and YouTube. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing to the Couch Soup membership. Please support independent creators like us. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
COVID numbers aren't killing people fast enough anymore. I work for a casket company.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I was like, not sure how that ties in, but now it all makes sense. It's like, holy shit, that was morbid.
Well, if I could direct you towards these space babies that we're no longer supporting.
God. Wow.
But for right now, we'll see you all next week, guys.
We're still going? No. Oh, no.
Do we need to leave and Ian, you can just record it without us? That way it's actually
It's fine. We'll cut it all together. It'll work out just fine.
It'll work out. Will it, though? Will it?
Oh my god,
It'll be fine.
that's great.